Good morning and welcome to the new edition of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. We have seen just today morning in the news that the Malaysian Prime Minister Najib has been sent to jail for 12 years. He's 67 years old and he indulged in corruption as all practically, with minor exceptions, negligible, prime ministers have indulged into corruption. The case was he was arrested, prosecuted, and now is in jail. That shows that the corruption is widespread. But then one thing is great that those countries whom we call dictatorial, whom we call authoritarian, there the people are punished. But in so called democratic countries, the politicians always get off scot free. If the leader himself is honest, then a cabinet minister can be sacked even for taking a $16 orange juice glass. Otherwise, you can take hundreds and thousands of millions, waste money traveling by air, special government craft from Ottawa to Thunder Bay 4 times during the lockdown period and then get away with it, or get, say, $500,000 for your activities, your excursions, and get away with it, or get your wife, your brother, your mother paid for giving speeches that may have no meaning at all and get away with it. As a matter of fact, I feel that corruption is endemic. Okay, let's accept it. But I'm witnessing another very, very innovative device by which these political leaders, and not only political leaders, but business leaders who have political ambitions, who want to rule the world directly or indirectly, have indulged in, and that is a system devised to subvert democracy, the essential democracy. I call it the billionaire charities, the charities where the CEOs and the patrons who give them money live like Mughal potentates, fancy hotels, worldwide excursions, Falcon 5 aircraft, luxurious life, and then all in the name of charity. And the guilty people are the prime ministers, the presidents, their henchmen, and the businessmen. What the businessmen do is very simple, that they set up their charities, enjoy life, pay huge salaries to their dear and near ones, do some work, but then they get so much of tax break that what they're spending on charity is actually less than what they're saving, or rather more than they are saving in their tax breaks. So it's a double benefit. You get the reputation, you get the money, the lucre, and you get the tax rebate, and you get the prestige of being a beneficiary. The politician comes in to fund that and take the benefit. Whether it's Aga Khan charity or Bill Gates charity or the famous Soros charity, all have political ambitions. And what we have seen recently in Canada, where Justin Trudeau's ascension to savior status of the downtrodden of the world into purveyor of corruption to his wife, mom, brother, and Who else? Nobody knows. We have witnessed during this time frame, believed to be the most transformative social dynamic in the Canadian history. The reason general society does not pick up this unprecedented historical tragedy is indeed manifold. And the biggest accomplice in the crime is the media. For example, the national TV caster, which gets about 600 million a year from the government, failed to inform 37 million Canadians that our country is in transition from democracy to dictatorship, an absolutely corrupt regime. Every time the corruption comes up, whether it's going to Aga Khan's place, whether it's using the helicopter, whether the latest one that we. But that is nice. After all, the charity organization is we. We have seen that the media in these cases becomes an arm of the government, and the government lays down specific parameters which the media cannot diverge from. Media is prevented from offering opinions which, for example, I'm giving you an example, that they cannot write anything which does not paint Islam into the positive light. There'll be no article in Globe or Toronto Star critical of. Rather, they'll be critical of all the good things. That's a, this is like an octopus. One going into corruption, the other into media muzzling, the third into promotion of the vote bank. But then let's see how the billionaire type are gaining ultimate power in the Western society. It's very simple. They are complex situations, but I'll put aside to give you one theory. When globalist billionaires such as Bill Gates makes a fortune, they can utilize charities as a tax write-off. This way, their net income is so much lower and therefore better for them in the form of taxation. In the old days, it is fair to say that a modicum of benevolence existed between these not-for-profit organizations. But that doesn't. If you remember, there have been studies which show that more than 87% of the money collected are given to the charities, goes for the upkeep of the promoters and the officers of the earth. Only 13% goes for the really charity work. So, we charity, for example, Burger's pet child, quite possible it was well intentioned at one time. Quite possible. But is it today? No. Whether it's We Charity, whether it's Bill Gates Melinda Foundation, whether it's George Soros Open Border Foundation, as well as millions of African oriented charities with sad faced children are no longer what they used to be. The faces of children are used as props to get money and to show they are doing good job. Some of them might be even indulging in absolutely, I'm saying might, because these things are shrouded in secrecy. This is a period when the so-called charities quite possibly are controlling the whole planet. And they are controlling the planet through the medium of the politicians. That is the sorry state of affairs. The political leaders are supposed to protect the society. but they are complicit in destroying the values of society and enabling the rape of democracy. It is arguably the king of the charity campaigns is found in myriad not-for-profit organizations, either devoted to Islam or to Africa. It's therefore no surprise that the Western media tries its level best to confuse the entire affair. They don't want things to be very clear. The globalist game has rolled its way to giant success. The methodology is very simple. A typical globalist subterfuge make it appear that the benefit for the children, poor, the weak of the third world. To put it simply, it's a massive deception. The reality is a power grab of unlimited dimensions. It's a pure power grab and along with power, money grab. A great play in which the Prime Minister of Canada is a key player. Well, at least in one way, Canada is on the global stage. Absolutely, there's no denying the fact. And what sticks to mind is that Justin aspires to become one of those billionaire globalists, which he can possibly be today. The not-for-profit hypocrisy is in truth a bid to control the country and the world. Believe this is everything the world desires with Justin Trudeau. Justin's drive for power is never ending, and there is no ceiling. As a matter of fact, there is no ceiling ever as far as ambition and greed is concerned. But what happens is when the greed and ambition increase to the limit of pure megalomania, devoid of any concern for an average Canadian or any average human being, then that megalomania causes the country to go to the third world level. As a matter of fact, sometimes I feel that Trudeau is like Pharaoh out of the biblical book of Exodus. And the slaves are who? The Canadian taxpayers, not the recipients of charities, not the welfare recipients, and not the owners of the charities, but an average Canadian taxpayer like you and me. Imagine a cocktail party for those who control the destiny. George Soros is there in that party with his son. A friend, and the son, who is friend? He is a friend of our immigration minister, Ahmed Hussain, who attends on him. So you see the connection. George Soros charity, We charity, Hassan, Trudeau, Kleber, and at that party, while Ahmed is attending on Soros' son, Craig Kalberg is paying a Charlotte temple, and Bono is discussing abortion in Sudan with Bill Gates. In the next room, you have the oil money, Middle Eastern contingent. Bill Clinton is hosting that group. You remember the Bill Clinton Foundation. And the deities are for a slight separation of the individual. And what is being attempted here is to describe the new globalist order controlling the West. It's quite possible that Macron is also there. And it's being discussed how to prevent the conservatives coming back in power in Canada, how to disrupt Modi, how to ensure Trump does not win again. how to ensure that Saudis keep on being in power, and it's a move worldwide. Who doesn't want to help the poor? Everybody does. Charity is one of the major virtues. It's a Christian virtue, and we welcome that. But think about it, that if Canada had not exposed weak charity scandal in the first place, the whole affair would have rolled up without a single blemish. People would have been got paid, whether the finance minister, the family of Justin Trudeau. It was all benevolent, sunshine and roses for Trudeau family. But the deception and the media cover up, what does it show? It shows the transition of Canada from a democratic society to an authoritarian society, an advent of Chinese style government. How do you like that? How would you like Emperor Z being replicated in Emperor Lovely Socks? How would you like that you have to pay taxes so that the government can fund these charities who fund the leaders back? So it's a transaction money. You are the funders, real funders. Money goes to the government gives it to the charities, and charities slightly give back to the government. What a nice setup. And what role are you playing? Quiet participants and are silent spectators. What role you should play? Abettors of the crime, aiders of the crime, or a herd of dumb driven cattle. Choice is yours, of course. You have to take a decision. What do you want your future to be? Do you want to be taken by the charities and the people manipulating them? Or do you want to breathe in the fresh air which is corruption free? I wouldn't mind air quality to be a bit dirtier if it's free from the obnoxious fumes of corruption and dishonesty. Thank you.